come. Thank you very much. We're proud to welcome Jacqueline with us here this morning. Thank you, ma'am, for being with us. Let's all welcome her, and we can all now light the lamp. Thank you.
वक्रतुण्ड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। गणपतये नमो नमः, श्रीसिद्धिविनायक नमो नमः, अष्टविनायक नमो नमः, गणपति बाप्पा मोरया। गणपतये नमो नमः, श्रीसिद्धिविनायक नमो नमः, अष्टविनायक नमो नमः, गणपति बाप्पा मोरया। ॐ गणपतये नमो नमः, श्रीसिद्धिविनायक नमो नमः, अष्टविनायक नमो नमः, गणपति बाप्पा मोरया। ॐ गणपतये नमो नमः, श्रीसिद्धिविनायक नमो नमः, अष्टविनायक नमो नमः, गणपति बाप्पा।
Okay, thank you very much. Could we come back to the dais, please? Thank you very much. May I now call upon Mr. Pankaj Patel, President FICCI and Chairman and Managing Director, Cadila Healthcare, to deliver the welcome address. Thank you, Mr. Patel, for this. Thank you. Please.
A very good morning. Mr. Ajay Mittal, Secretary, Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, Government of India. His Excellency Mr. Nadir Patel, High Commissioner of Canada to India. His Excellency Mr. John Terry, Mayor of Toronto, Canada. Our own Mr. Uday Shankar, Chairman, FICCI Media and Entertainment Committee and Chairman and CEO, Star India. Mr. Rakesh Om Prakash Mehra, Chairman, FICCI Film Forum and Director and Founder of ROMP Private Limited. Our special guest, Ms. Jacqueline Fernandez, Mr. Sudhanshu Pandey, Joint Secretary, Ministry of Commerce, Mr. Didar Singh, invited guests, speakers, and our colleagues and friends from Canada. Good morning and welcome to the 18th milestone of FICCI Frames, Asia's only platform which gives equal voice.
Less than a year, we are past the tipping point in this country. The distance that India has traveled in adopting internet-based behavior is nothing short of remarkable. From buying goods and services to ordering in, we seem to have done it all forever in this country. India is now one of the largest markets for mobile applications, be it by volumes of downloads, consumption of video, or e-commerce, for which it seems to have already emerged as the next big frontier. On the other hand, the conversation last year was about how many more unicorn startups will we see in India. This year, it seems it is about how many lame horses will the sector will have digital giants like Netflix and Amazon Prime. The story of bottomless war chess may or may not be true, but it does give us a sense of the competition that they see from homegrown digital enterprises, not just the likes of Hotstar, but others including Voot, Ditto, and many more. If there is one thing we know for sure, it is that this year we will see a lot more lively activity on this front. The technology that some of us have introduced in this country is as good, if not better than the best in the world. Combined with the reset in cost and quality benchmarks led by the likes of Reliance Jio, this has driven the adoption by the Indian consumer at a breathtaking pace. But while we celebrate this rapid growth, for this group of creative business people, today I would like to point out a somewhat disturbing trend that I notice. Bear with me. A trend that in the long run is likely to undo a lot of gains that we have made in the last few decades. I'm concerned if the Indian creative mind is in a position to respond to the pace of technological change with an equally rapid evolution in its creativity. Conservative. Even a word like, forgive me for using it, Sali, has to be silenced in a film. The city names must be absolutely correct and contemporary. And of course, do not go anywhere near discussions of women's issues, let alone female sexuality.
More Collywood, we need more Mollywood, we need more Sandalwoods, and we want them all in what is the most diverse city in the world. You may have seen recently when the Mayor of London, and it was a wonderful thing for the world that he was elected, Mayor Khan, in the City of London by the people there, and he declared himself to be the mayor of the most diverse city in the world, and the BBC, as only they could, went off to check that out. And they came back and had said, no, he was sadly mistaken, that the most diverse city in the world was Toronto. And we're proud of that. Our city's been built. Our city has been built by people, including those from South Asia, who have come in such large numbers. 51% of the people who live in the city of Toronto were born outside of the country. This is something that is unprecedented, and it is something where our way of life is on display every day, where we embrace people because they're different. And we embrace people because they come from somewhere else and bring new ideas and new approaches and new beliefs with them to our city. And frankly, we want to have it all. We want to have that, and we want to have that combined with more activity on the part of this industry in our great city. And I can tell you that we bring to the party, as it were, a great, experienced, energized talent pool of people that are familiar with television production, digital production, visual effects, every aspect of the industry that are represented here. We bring partnerships, including our unions, for example, who are represented here with us on this mission, part of our delegation as evidence of how we work together as partners. Now, some would say that all that means it's not about the money. I've learned it's always about the money in some respects. I came from the media and entertainment business, and I know that it is about making money, among other things. And I just want you to know that to the extent as well that we have very generous financial incentives provided by the Ontario and federal governments, making us one of the most competitive production jurisdictions in the entire world, what we want to do is we want to work with you to plan ahead so you can take advantage of those financial incentives that are available, because they can't just be received at the drop of a hat, but they can, with a little bit of careful planning, be made available to you to make it even more attractive for you to come and do business with us in Toronto. And we offer secure financial institutions, government supports, ease of navigating, and we've seen everything from a television series of all kinds, digital productions, gaming products, and the feature films, of course, produced very successfully in Toronto. So I look here today, and we're here to say that we want to have a partnership between Toronto and India. It's a partnership of enterprise and creativity and talent and experience, and yes, money, so that we can produce content of all kinds, but in particular produce Indian content of all the kinds that I made reference to, Indian content for the world, because you want to find more and more ways to showcase unparalleled commitment as well to customer service. So when you come to Toronto, you'll have not only all of the talent and all of the financial incentives, but you will have us in your corner saying we are going to make it easy for you to produce whatever it is you've come to produce in terms of film and other creative industries. So I am looking forward to a new slate of projects that will come and be with us as partners in the City of Toronto, opening a new chapter in the great history of this industry, which has such a fantastic global reputation, but also a great new chapter in our history of an industry that is growing in importance, billions of dollars taking place of production in the City of Toronto, and we're looking forward to having all kinds of screen-based and other digital entertainment working with you in partnership. I hope, as High Commissioner Patel said, if you haven't been to Toronto, you will come and visit. If you come and visit, please come and see me and the other councillors. We will make sure that you're shown a good time, and we will make sure that you understand what a great place it is to produce creative content and how much we're looking forward to working with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor Tory, and thank you for us today. And I'm sure that all of you will do business and actual collaboration with us as this happens. Now, as part of our activity, and you heard this mentioned a little earlier also, we always do a report with KPMG that's really the benchmark for the industry. So may I request the dignitaries to now kindly release the report, and may I also request KPMG representative here to join us on the dais while this is done. The report, please. Thank you very much, and we have a wonderful Jacqueline who has to now get on to the next inauguration that you're doing. You're welcome to leave, madam, while we carry on. May I now request Sudhanshu Ji to kindly give us a perspective from the Ministry of Commerce. We are honored to have him with us, and may I just announce that next year he's going to really be supporting us for even expanding FICCI frames to the next level. He'll tell you about it. Please, sir.
Respected Secretary, Ministry of Information Broadcasting, Excellencies on the dais, President of FICCI and all other dignitaries on the dais. I think I would be very brief and focusing on what is my job, which is what is the commercial and economic dimension of the films and where do we stand. And also a little bit about what is the global regime today around this sector. That is what is extremely important for people to understand. The World Trade Organization, how does it happen? It happens on non-binding basis through commercial and revenue sharing model. Now, what India has been pushing very aggressively, that when the world looks at Indian market for a variety of things, then the Indian industry should also get access to their market when it comes to audiovisual services, where we have the proven track record, we have created tremendous soft power around the world, we have a history and culture and a
the local enforcement authorities on all complaints related to IPR issues.
So one more question on the issues around censorship, in particular on the threats of violence to filmmakers, recent incidents of sets being set on fire and so on and so forth. You responded to that question in the morning, so when it was raised in the opening session, you responded to that by alluding to the law of the land, saying that there are self-appointed guardians of morality, but there is the law of the land, and you
instantaneously by saying something. I mean, this is not just theory. The last political campaign, the major role of the news media was to amplify news from one individual. So everyone is a content company. I think that's the first thing. That leads into a second observation, which is platforms which take advantage of connectedness across consumers typically enjoy these winner-take-all dynamics or exponential growth rates, which will always outpace traditional growth in content industries. And the third is this blurring of industry boundaries, which I think many people have referred to, where what we call content and distribution and platforms or hardware and software, I mean, it's essentially now one game. We're basically all playing in the same space. I mean, what struck me over the last 10 days, I was just reading news feeds, is the extent to which Twitter, Apple,
One second. Thank you. Boss, how's it? Okay, sir. Boss.